In this video, we're going to be talking about the brioche 4-stitch decrease. It's abbreviated as br4st decrease. And this is what it looks like right here. You end up with a center column that goes over your decrease stitches. It's the closest thing in brioche to a centered decrease that we're used to in standard knitting. So a brioche 4-stitch decrease is actually worked over 5 stitches, and you will need a removable stitch marker. In my case, I just have a ring. You can always use a clipping removable marker or a cable needle if you really needed to in a pinch. We are going to work the brioche 4-stitch decrease over these 5 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of the stitches will be our brioche stitches with their wrap. We've got 1, 2, 3, and we'll have 2 stitches that are the slip stitch. So to work this, and I'm going to work this twice, we're going to use our main working yarn, and we're going to slip 1 brioche stitch knitwise and slip the next stitch knitwise without creating a shawl on it. Next, we're going to grab our stitch marker and slip both the wrapped stitch and the main stitch of that next brioche stitch onto the marker and take it off the needle and leave it in front of the work. We've got our working yarn 3 stitches back. We're going to knit the next stitch. And this is where the backing and forthing, the decreases start to happen. So the last stitch that we slipped knitwise, we're going to pass over, and that becomes 1 stitch decreased. Now we slip this stitch back to our left hand needle, pass the 5th stitch over, the last decrease, along with its wrap, over. Move this stitch back to the right hand needle purlwise and slip that first brioched stitch over. So now we've passed 3 stitches over, so we've got a 3-stitch decrease. Now we have our stitch here that's held on the stitch marker. We're going to pick that up with the main color in front if possible, but keep the wrap with it, onto the left hand needle and remove our marker. We're going to transfer the stitch on the right hand needle to the left hand needle purlwise and pass both the wrapped stitch and the main stitch over. And then you can transfer your stitch to the right hand needle. By working it in that order, you create this center decrease over your 5 stitches, but it also keeps us in pattern so that the next stitch we work is going to be a slip 1 yarn over, where we bring our working yarn to the front and slip the stitch. I'm going to show you that one more time. So here we are, we've got our 5 stitches, our 3 turquoise columns, which are our brioche stitches, and our 2 orange columns, which are the back stitches or the slip 1 yarn over stitches. I'm going to work this a little more quickly. We're going to slip the first brioche stitch knitwise, slip the first what would be a slip 1 yarn over stitch knitwise. We're going to grab our stitch marker and place both the wrap and the main stitch onto the stitch marker and hold it in front. Now with our working yarn, we're going to knit the first stitch on the left hand needle, pass the first slip stitch on the right hand needle over, transfer that stitch to the left hand needle purlwise, pass the left hand stitch over with its wrap, transfer the stitch back to the right hand needle purlwise and pass the first brioche stitch over. Now we're going to pick up the stitch from the stitch marker and its wrap and place it on the left hand needle, remove the marker. We're going to transfer that stitch purlwise back to the left hand needle and pass the final stitch from left to right over, grab both legs, and then finally transfer this stitch to the right hand needle so you're ready to move on working your slip one yarn over on the next stitch. So I'll come back and show you after I've worked a couple rows so you can see what the stitch should look like. Okay, so here we are. I have worked one row past the decrease, and you can see how self-evident it is now that you've got a center decrease with this column above the decrease stitches on either side. So that's what a brioche 4-stitch decrease looks like. This will be worked exactly the same whether you're working flat or in the round with one color or two. So good luck, and if you've got any questions, leave a comment below and I'll get on to helping you with your questions. Thanks so much, and happy knitting!